All right, BGOO. The other day, a day or two ago, there was a member that posted he was having some feelings of anxiety in relation to all that's going on across our nation and in specific, speaking to what happened on January the 6th at the Capitol building. And so in his thread, he just expressed himself and he said, "Hey, I'm having some anxiety and I'm wondering if, how can I manage this stress, this internal stress, and at the same time, and I'm paraphrasing here, but at the same time, just how can I care for my family?" And that is important. How can you care for your family, and how can you take care of your own mental health, and just occupy your time in a more efficient and beneficial manner for yourself? So I thought about that, and I'm here with my son today, and I decided to grab some books off of my bookshelf. Some of these books are old, some of them are new, but they're just, I don't know, a collection of items that I've found to be useful in life broadly, and I'm going to share them with you all, hoping and thinking that it will be useful to you and beneficial to you. And as these next days come up toward the inauguration, and then the days and weeks thereafter continue, maybe you can make use of these and to help you feel less stressed and have less anxiety. And hey, at the same time, maybe you can learn some new things and gain some new knowledge that'll be beneficial to you or your family. All right, so here we go. All right, so I've laid these out, as you can see. Maybe I should do it this way. I've laid these out, as you can see. They're in no particular order, so I'm just going to go book to book and discuss them. First one being Sun Tzu, The Art of War. I think this is better. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. This is a classic. It dates back far. I won't go into the details on it. Just get this book, read it, study it. It is a must know, in my humble opinion. John Hopkins, Symptoms and Remedies. This is also an old book, complete home medical reference, and I have used this many, many times as a dad, as a parent. I don't go to the book itself anymore. I've pretty much got the whole thing memorized, which my kids think is hilarious, but super facts. It's the truth. But get yourself basically any kind. It doesn't have to be this book, John Hopkins, but get yourself just at home a medical reference book, medical reference guide. I also keep on my tablet and on my cell phone a digital version that is updated. It updates every quarter of effectively the exact same thing. Again, it's not from Johns Hopkins, but it is a quick reference guide for, I will say, the most of the issues and conditions that a person might come across. Next is Norman Dodge, The Brain That Changes Itself. This was such a good book. It was a gift to me years ago, and this is all about the brain and plasticity and how you can train yourself to absorb information and knowledge, and you can retrain yourself as it goes to how you have thought about thinking into a different manner. This also was a gift to me. Something to Smile About by Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar being a world famous, nowadays we would call it a personal coach, but in the old days, this was a motivational speaker. He was a motivational speaker. He's passed on now. But Zig Ziglar was excellent, and this book is really good. And again, it was a gift to me during a time when I was feeling low. This book goes along with it. It's Gonna Be Okay. This too was a part of the gift overall, and inside it's just a diary. So you can write in And see, it has affirmations here. You can just write in anything that you're thinking and manners of self-help. Next over, The Hunter. The Hunter by Bob Norton. This was a gift to me from one of my hunting mentors. Excellent, excellent book. Let's see what's inside of here. Yep. This is notification to me that I was in 2008, saying to me from Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, congratulations, you have qualified as a new instructor with the Massachusetts Hunter Education Program, June 24th, 2008. Wow, that was a long time ago. So long ago, and so many adventures ago. Next we have here the Essential Second Amendment Guide. This is by Wayne LaPierre. This is an excellent book. Forget about how you feel about Wayne LaPierre. Forget about how you feel about the NRA. This book is excellent. It is a detailed history of the Second Amendment, and it is not excellent because they say so. It is excellent because it matches up against what the founders had to say. Yes, I did research that. It matches up against what the founders had to say, as well as constitutional experts. But it's a small guide. It's very easy to read, and excellent. What else we got over here? Surgical Speed Shooting by Andy Stanford. This one is a really old book. I don't know if it's in print anymore, but if you can find it, just Google it. If you can find it, read it. Read it, study it, practice it, learn it. Quality. All right, what else we got here? The Story of O by Pauline Riage. There we go. You see that there we go. The Story of O. This is an interesting book, and this is an interesting leaning. People thinking or speaking to feeling anxiety and feeling stress. This is a book by a woman speaking to her her life and her loves and her interests. And her interests and where they take her, starting from point A, going all the way to point Z. And I would encourage both men and women you don't have to read this book in specific, but find yourself a book that just doesn't have to be about your life right now, ongoing. It can be complete fiction, which this is. It can be complete fiction, but it speaks to what your core needs are. Everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs to sleep. Everyone needs housing. And then this is about love. Everyone needs love. And so if you don't have love in your life, fix that. Law Enforcement Guide to Firearms Law. This book is, as you can see, it's gotten a lot of mileage. It's one of my favorite books, actually. From Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association. This is an excellent reference guide. You don't have to get this one either if you don't live, obviously, in Massachusetts, which almost nobody on PGO does. But you can find the same information for your given state, either as a book or online. Live it, learn it, love it. You gotta know your state laws. It is important. Okay, what else we got here? All right, Jailhouse Strong. Josh Bryant and Adam Benchay. This too, good book, and it is about taking care of your physicality. So as it goes to again, anxiety, feeling stress, and managing that, aside from taking care of your brain and learning how to fix it and make it work for you, and aside from taking care of your mental state and focusing on, hey, I'm a good person and these are skills that I have, and maybe I have skills I don't have, but I can learn them. This focuses on, and the other focusing on your love life and just getting yourself together. This focuses on your physicality. So, if it's just as important working on your body and getting your body together as it is the rest. And pulling triggers, going back to surgical speed shooting, anybody can pull a trigger. Anybody can pull a trigger. Anybody can align sights. And aligning sights means putting the bore toward target. Anybody can do that. But if you want to be skilled at it, and if you want to get very good at it, you gotta have your physicality together. It's just important. Okay? All right, then we got another one. It's fiction. This was a gift to me for Christmas, my birthday, 2 years ago, I want to say. It's either my 48th or 49th, I can't remember. Either last year or a year before. The Life and Adventures of Nat Love. And this is a real person. Nat Love is a real black man. I'm not even going to give it away. Get this book. Good book. All right, what we got here? We got Cormac McCarthy, The Road. Sheesh, this book is heavy. Super heavy. They made a movie about it. That movie is excellent. The movie is the rare movie that is almost exactly the same as the book. I read the book well prior to the movie even being produced. Both are excellent, but I would say read the book. Read the book. It is super sad, but super, at the same time, it is beautiful. I don't want to give it away too much, but it's the story of a father and his son. And the father loves his son supremely, period. And so if you just need some time, downtime to not think about your life and not think about what's going on right now, but at the same time, you want to have some thoughts about what is going on right now and how if everything went to hell and went really awful, that's the book. And then leading to that, the next is Patriots, James Wesley Rawles. This is an excellent book as well. This seems to be, I got this book like a decade ago. It's old. And darn if right now isn't particularly leading to how this book, which is fiction, by the way, is a novel of survival in the coming collapse. It is entirely fiction, but darn if real life isn't pretty much matching up to how this book plays out. And then it goes real bad. Very bad. Which leads to the next book. On Combat by Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. I'm going to go up close on that one. All right. On Combat. This was in plastic wrap because I give these away to students. It's part of their overall package. But On Combat is excellent. The psychology and physiology of deadly conflict in war and in peace. This book is about, I'm not going to cut corners on this one. It is about killing people, period. It is about the psychology and emotion and physiology of the act of killing people and getting beyond that. He has a second book that's called On Killing, and it goes into a deeper dive on the aspects, psychological aspects of killing people. This is not a book, in my humble opinion, this is not a book for persons to read in the sense of, oh yeah, this will just be mindless fun. There is nothing fun about these books, those two books. I don't have my copy. I'm looking on the bookshelf now. I don't see it. It's somewhere around here. But On Combat and On Killing. These are not books for fun. These are high-level thinking books. And I would warn you that if you're not emotionally prepared to dive into something of that subject, have a coffee and a good sleep prior. All right, and then that leads to Gavin de Becker. I've talked about Gavin and his books many times at BGOO. I've suggested it multiple times. The Gift of Fear. Then there's another one, Protecting the Gift. I've got that one on my bookshelf as well. I can't just bring out all my doggone books because then I'd be here for a long time. This video is already 13 minutes long. So The Gift of Fear, Gavin de Becker. He's an Israeli that does, he does evaluations of human and human behavior. So he looks at people and he does analysis to discern whether or not they are a threat or not a threat, keeping it super basic, threat or not a threat. And then if you fall into the threat column, what manner of threat might you be, which are in various subdivisions. And if you are not a threat, not just saying you are not a threat, but why are you not a threat? And are you going to be a threat in some time frame? So you may not be a threat right now, but that may change based upon conditions and context into the future at some time set. Excellent book. It should be read. And this is hugely useful in general, but I would strongly suggest it to women in specific. And it doesn't matter whether you're an 18-year-old woman or an 80-year-old woman. I would suggest it to women. I would also strongly suggest it to parents, period. Let's see, we got over here the Bible. King James Version. This was a gift from my mom. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you are religious or not. It doesn't matter whether you are Christian or Catholic or Jewish. You could be Hindu. It doesn't freaking matter. Select a religious text. I'm going to call it that. And read one. I have read the Torah. I've read the Quran. And I grew up with the Bible. And read one. So select it, sit down, and just read through it. Don't view it as something to, as fundamentalist, that you're going to adopt it in some way. You don't have to feel that way at all. Just read the text and see how your brothers, how others among the human community may or may not view behavior, life, living, and loving. Period. That's it. This one of my favorite books, Thomas Stanley. He's written many different books. They're all attachments thereof of this book, The Millionaire Mind. This book is about, it's an analysis. It is a study of people who were millionaires and how they got to be that way, but not by manner of specifically how they collected their cash, their value, but what about them as individuals, as people, got them to the point where they had a greater likelihood of being able to amass revenue. Really, their resources. Money is just resources. That's it. Money is nothing more than a resource. And so what kind of person and what about those persons and how about those persons and where about those persons allowed them to become resourceful? This is a great book. I have read it multiple times, and now my son, who's 14, has been working his way through it. And this is he's about halfway. He's about halfway, yeah, just about maybe 40% through it. And it's been sitting in his space on the bookshelf. But I strongly suggest it. It's a great book. All right, what else we got over here? This is an old one as well. Wayne's Wall, The Hunter's Guide to Accurate Shooting. Now, it is oriented toward hunters, but the focus is accurate shooting. And it is largely toward rifle. Okay, so it is not toward shotgun, it's not toward handgun, even as obviously we hunt with handguns and with shotguns. This book is really good toward the science, the focused science and mechanics of shooting. Again, anybody can pull triggers. That's easy. You just make your finger go boom, 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 right? And anybody can align the bore toward a target. Just easy. You just point the gun somewhere. But then there's actual shooting. There's a difference. There is a difference. Which makes me think I should have got another book off the shelf. Didn't get it. All right, but that's enough. Let's see, what else we got here? U.S. Navy SEAL Survival Handbook. And this one's by, the authors are by retired U.S. Navy SEALs, as you can see here. And the story behind this book is not to be read as though, oh, I'm going to become a Navy SEAL. You're not. You're not. Period. You're not going to be a SEAL. You're not going to be a Ranger. Stop fucking around and thinking that you're going to be what you aren't. Period. But what this book is good for, it is excellent as a study guide for persons that are two types of ways. Persons that are going to be in the woods or in environments, not just woods, because you could be in urban areas too. You're going to be in an environment where you're going to have less resources than what you need, less resources than optimal. This will help you so that you don't freak out, flip out, and do stupid stuff. Second, this book is really a mind bender. Going back to Brain Changes Itself. Also, going back to Millionaire Mind. As well, the Bible. This book motivates a person to think, okay, my situation is bad, or okay, I'm in a less than optimal place. How can I get myself to endure, survive, and overcome to get to a better place? Either, better place defined as either having more resources so that you can survive, or managing with the resources that you have so that you can endure, or how can I prevent myself from getting jammed up in the first place so that I can overcome? It's a good book. And let's see, what else we got? Oh, we got back here. This isn't a book. This is a DVD. It was given to me ages ago by a chief of police that I was doing work with, professional work with, several years back. This might be half a decade old. So it is no longer the latest, but it is the Virtual Terrorism Response Academy. You can't buy this as a civilian, but I thought to get it because there are tons of information on this available, even from YouTube, but available online, YouTube and Google. And you're not going to become a terrorism expert. You're not. You people, there's my finger. You people are not going to become a terrorism expert. So again, just put that out of your head. You're not going to. But what is useful for you as civilians, as just regular citizens, Joe Blow and Jane Doe, what you can do is by seeking out this type of information, you can learn how to identify problems, get yourself away from problems, how to manage within a problem, and how to, what's another way to put it? How to just deal with the problem overall, overarching. And so I have myself posted some pieces to the past, as well as just a couple of days ago, where I posted one about how being able to identify a firearm condition has been useful by actual documentation, has been useful to persons at surviving spree killers. That's an industry term. Basically murder killers, persons with mental health issues or behavioral health issues, or persons that are completely sane, but they got a gripe with you or with a group of people and they run up into a building and they start pulling triggers, but then their gun fails, and how to recognize that, oh, that gun has a stovepipe. So meaning that the casing is sticking up out of the top. So now the gun's jammed up. And in that time frame, while the gun is jammed up, I can react. I don't like to use react, more respond. I can respond. Reaction is just, scream, run. But respond is coordinated thought. So going back to this, if you can find information and resources that are similar to this, you're not going to, again, become some sort of special operative. You're just not. So forget that. But overall, if you can seek out that information and be able to better identify conditions, that can help you best survive. And then talk about survival. This is a book, Hunting for Food. I love books. I read a lot of books. I got a huge book collection. And this one is really good. Hunting for Food. Get that down there. A Guide to Harvesting, Field Dressing, and Cooking Wild Game. All right, and you see that by Nguyen and Wheatley. I don't know who these two authors are, but I do know that this book is kick-ass. All right, so it is an excellent guide, completely factual, how to clean catfish, for example. So if you were jammed up and you didn't know nothing about nothing, if you had this book, this one's Cooking Wild Turkey. If you had this book, you would do really well. If you had this book in your head as knowledge, you would do super well. If you had this book as practice, becoming something that you've done and you have the ability to repeat, that's called a skill set. And if you have that skill set, you are unlikely to find yourself easily killed, period. Sorry, I can't put it any better. You are unlikely to be exterminated or to be removed. You are most likely to be the guy or the gal that is going to be the last person standing. Excellent book. All right, so yikes. All right, so I'm back, and that's just my overview. That went way over, longer than I expected or thought, but that's typical for me. You guys understand that. In closure, I hope that one of these books, if not any one of all of these books, motivate you to head on over to your local library if it's still open. We are in this bazaar of COVID. If your library is not open, head to your local bookstore. If your bookstore isn't available or you live in an area that is more rural where there aren't any bookstores, use the internet, dude. Damn. Got Google. Google got everything. There is no reason to not know anything in this world right now. We live in the information age. There's zero reason, period. So if you want to learn something, if you want to know something, if you want to understand something, go to Google or go to Bing or go to DuckDuckGo or whatever the hell it's called. Go. If you can find Facebook, you got the internet. If you got the internet, you got solutions. If you got solutions, you don't have problems. It's that easy. All right, that's Pope out, and I wish all of you at BGO the best. And endure through these times. We've seen worse. We've seen better. We're going to be all right. All right? Ciao.